Hello, Tanzania, and welcome back to another Yap session with your favorites, Joanne, and I'm here with,
Hi, everyone. I'm Lucinda.
together with a very special guest.
Joe-Francis Ngome.
Ooh. So today we're going to be talking about all things identity, culture, and entertainment, and I'm very excited. Hope you are
I feel
too.
like we should let you do this more often.
I think I'm a
You know, the whole
natural.
yapper thingy, it's
Yeah.
working for you. Hi, Joe.
Hey,
Karibu
yeah.
sana.
Asante.
Yeah, it's great to have you. We're going to try and keep this short and sweet.
Okay, just like
But
me.
yeah, you know, this is like a safe space. I feel like we might yap a bit longer, but we'll try to keep it within the time limits. All right. So we've had our story out there quite a lot. So we're not going to get into, you know, our stories of coming back home, but we would like to hear from you. Tell us about yourself. Where did you grow up?
Okay.
When did you choose to come back home? Why did you decide to come back home?
Okay.
And then we'll take it from there.
Okay. Growing up, I was born here. But shortly after I was born, my parents were still studying. So we went to the U.S., St. Paul, Minnesota to be exact. That's like on the border between Canada and the U.S. It was pretty cold. I was very young when we were there, though. I think we left when I was about 6 years old. My dad worked for the AU at the time. So after coming back to TZ for a very brief period, we went to live in Ethiopia. And I was in Ethiopia from like the time I was 7 until maybe I was 11, 12 or so. So I didn't really decide to come back. I was told we're moving back to TZ.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to make big decisions at 12 years old, surprisingly. But then I was in TZ until I was about 16. After I turned 16, I told my dad, I want to leave. I want to have my space. So I went to uni. Uni was in Mauritius. After Mauritius, I went to South Africa, Cape Town, because I wanted to study photography and really like hone my craft. And I've been back for I think like 6-7 years now. And I'm glad to be here.
Okay, 6-7 years, that's enough time to actually be able to compare the life outside and the life back. You've had quite some time home. What was your biggest culture shock when you came back?
Okay, so first and foremost, I do art. I'm an artist, I guess I should say I'm an artist. My main passion is photography. I think one thing that was really interesting was Tanzanian timing. I remember my first photo shoot that I organized here. I was meant to meet somebody, and I remember it was near 777, where 777 is.
Yeah.
And we were meant to meet at like 2 o'clock. And I showed up at like 1:30 because I should be there early, right? They didn't show up until 3. And I was like, okay, my parents were telling me you need to accept that. And I didn't. It took me years to finally just be like, hey, things are different, things are slow, people are chilling, So I think, lack of timing or a difference in appreciation of timing is crazy.
I feel like as we are doing a recap on this season of Hello Tanzania, we need to do something about time.
We should do a little clip where everyone mentions patience, timing.
Yeah, because time is just,
reoccurring.
I can imagine.
It's the most
crazy.
consistent culture shock for
everyone
that we've had a conversation
Well, it breaks
with.
you down in your spirit, But you must submit.
By force, by
It's a
fire.
sad reality.
You must submit. I like how you said that you must submit. It's not something that you want to do. You just submit to it and learn to live with it.
Okay, so submitting is one thing, but going forward, I mean, there has to be some kind of balance, because you might find yourself outside Tanzania, and once you submit, so to say, your mind kind of attunes itself to Tanzanian time. How do you balance that?
I don't know. To be honest, I think I haven't necessarily changed so much. Like, I still showed places early, even for this.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did. You were very punctual.
Yeah, so, I think I won't change myself. It's more just like not letting it frustrate you when someone is late, because it's not about you. It's just how people are here, So, just don't take it personally, I guess. But I think don't stop trying to be on time, because otherwise, we're not
It's
going to get
be
anywhere.
a bad habit.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Okay, all right. So time is one. Another? Give me like 5 culture shocks.
5 culture shocks. Oh my god.
Okay, 3.
Okay.
All right.
I think maybe the second one. I mean, as I was getting older, obviously, like I have my tattoos and my piercings and stuff. When I was in SA, it wasn't like really like a big deal. Like no one really like cared, But I remember coming back here, like for a lot of people to see like a man with those piercings, it was like really weird. And then obviously the tattoos come with an association of like unprofessionality and all that kind of stuff, and the locks as well. But I was happy when I came back. I actually worked as a teacher for a bit. I was glad we had students who were able to see that actually, you know, you can be yeah, you can be professional, still get your chance, man. So you know, I'm glad. But yeah, I think how we look maybe at like different apparel choices is kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting. But I appreciate that locks in particular have changed quite a bit. I remember when I first came back, we were still having people come in and cutting people's locks on the street, like these police officers and stuff like that. But at least now, you know, I think it's a lot better.
Definitely.
And then number 3, I remember being an intern when I first came back in my photography, and I was working for a media house. I remember being like shocked at like how the guys would like talk about girls in the office. I remember like there are safe spaces and there's being too safe. I was like, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
How, I don't know if disrespectful is the word, but I think the different ways we treat.
Objectifying?
Yeah, it's a lot of objectifying stuff, you know. And I think it's interesting if you don't like play into it, you can find yourself kind of shunned, you know, on the outside or whatever. But I mean, it is what it is.
It's crazy. I want the male perspective.
Yeah.
Of a person who came back, so to speak, because I think this is something we talked about, my personal experience, coming back, being objectified and all of that. And, you know, somebody would objectify you as a woman. I gave them an example of a comment that someone once gave me at work, and I had to call them out on that. You know, that was a sexual harassment. Exactly, that's what it was. And this person had to come and he tried to walk it back and downplay it and be like, no, I was just joking. And, you know, and now when I spoke about it to people, there were those who would be shocked by it. And then there are those men who would be like, you know, Tanzanian men are like that. It's a society. But the objectifying, there's a way that it's not just for men. Even women here have kind of become complacent with it. And I think there's that air of, if you don't play along, you're not going to get anywhere.
And it's true.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's sad. So I think it's really good to get the male perspective, because I was speaking from, I don't want to say victim, but from somebody who's actually experienced it. It's not a victim, because, you know, I'm not dwelling in that.
Yes.
But from somebody who experienced it, it was very unsettling to know that you work for a professional organization and you can say something to mind you, this is not somebody I was friends with. So I was like, we don't even know
each other.
Yeah, I'm like, we don't even know each other like that.
Different
you know, different department, different roles. Is not somebody I see occasionally. So I'm like, we don't even know each other like that.
Just reduced to,
you know, so to get that from a male perspective, it's interesting. Yeah, I think at some point we might go deeper in that conversation. So I'm just gonna pen that for now. Yeah. What about language? How's your Kiswahili?
Naongea vizuri tu. Yani siku hizi yani sio kwamba nashindwa kuongea, naweza kutembea, yani kutafsiri kwa Kiingereza kwenda Swahili sio ngumu. But when I first came back, it was tough because I think a lot of diaspora kids we relate to the fact that our parents will make fun of us for not speaking Swahili, but at home, what do we speak? We speak English, right? And I remember us, you know, living abroad. Obviously, I'm not with other Tanzanians. In Ethiopia, I had one set of cousins, but even then, we were all speaking English at home. So by the time I came back when I was 12, there was no Swahili in me at all, and it was really awkward because we had a maid that we would get left with because when we first came back, we didn't have school. But so my parents would go to work, and I don't speak Swahili, and the maid doesn't speak English. So I was forced to get into it and figure out how to translate and do things. So I think it's only until maybe like the past 3-4 years where I can say, okay, I can speak Swahili. But before, it's terrible. But even now when I speak Swahili, my accent is not the same. Like there's no way you would drop me in like, Ilala speak Karioko, and hear me speak and think, this is someone who's from here. Sana Sana, like, oh, maybe it's Kenyan, so Nigerian, you know? But I can speak and understand. But I think I'll never not have that accent.
Accent in Swahili is Rafudhi, is it not?
Girl, you are really studying.
Right?
I think so.
I didn't know that.
Is it?
Okay, you are better at this than I am, clearly. All right, so language, the language barrier is, it's another aspect of so to speak, the identity crisis that a lot of us went through. And many of us had to relearn Kiswahili. And it made for interesting conversations. There are moments where, your English would get you through the stuff. And then there are moments where you need to relate to people. So because you don't know the language, you find yourself a bit on the outskirts with the people. Do you think you can go to Kariako and, negotiate prices and get stuff reduced?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that harms me is that I already look...
Like a foreign.
I mean, no matter what I do.
You do kind of look like Bien with the hair.
I'll take it.
Am I lying?
No.
You do. We need to tag Bien on this particular clip.
Don't kill me. Oh my
We
God.
found his twin.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So we had a guest here, and I'm throwing shade. We had a guest who cannot, negotiate in Swahili, and we are on a mission to make sure that we teach him and we expose him.
But you know what it is? You have to go with somebody first and know what the prices are.
Yeah,
you
you
know,
can't just
because you don't
go
know when you're being
along.
taken for an idiot. Yeah,
True. But we need to have that moment where, yes, we're going to take him to the flea markets. We're going to take him to experience this.
A day in
And
the
then
life.
we are going to just let him negotiate.
Take a camera crew, give
Yes.
him 10 G's, and say you must leave with 5 outfits.
Yes.
Bas.
Yes.
I promise you, a million views the same day.
That would make such an interesting segment.
That's the
I really
goal,
wanna
yeah.
do that.
Yeah, so we will be back with he takes on this name. We don't want to
Coming
mention
soon.
him today. Yeah, all right.
Oh, man.
So shade thrown and caught. I'm glad.
The receiver has received.
Message received.
Oh, my days.
Yeah, so, okay. Oh my God, I kind of got carried away. All right, so you're an artist. You do photography, you do acting. Guys, just a little heads up for those of you who voted in our Fan Choice Awards over in December. This was our winner for Best Actor in the movie The Christmas Run. So thank you. We finally got to have a
Thank
conversation
you.
with him. Thank you for voting as well. So tell us about your break-in into the creative industry in Tanzania.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was that?
It's been a ride, definitely been a journey. Because the reason I wanted to, or let me say this, I always knew I wanted to do photography. Like when I first did my undergrad, I went to SA to get a formal education of photography, and that's because I knew I wanted to be able to come back here and justify charging what I charge for gigs and stuff. I think breaking into entertainment was it was tough, I think, because first of all, like anywhere else, even if I went to America or something, because you haven't grown up in that space, you lack the connections that other people might have. You don't know where to go, who to talk to, and everything. But I first got into entertainment at large as a director, because I was able to take my photography stuff and translate that into film. So I think my first gig I got because I was selected in ZIF in 2020 for a film I had shot in SA. And then from there, I was contacted to be given a director job, and that was with the Waziri Afia and USAID. They were sponsoring it. And then from there, I was able to then break into acting. But I think, unfortunately, or maybe not unfortunately, that's the wrong word, it's harder for me to get into acting stuff because of the things I've mentioned before. My Swahili is not the Swahili that you're finding of your everyman here.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I also don't look like it. I mean, I can't confirm for sure, but I'm 95% sure there are a lot of roles I've lost because I'm too foreign looking for someone to look at and be like, okay, I can believe that
can
this
relate
is,
to this
you know what I
guy,
mean?
yeah.
So I think that's a bit tougher, but at the same time, getting in the Christmas one was really nice. I never thought I would be cast in a movie in Tanzania where I get to keep my nose piercings in. And then I was shook. I remember even asking, the director, like, is it cool? And they're like, yeah, no worries, you do you.
Yeah.
I had a vest on, so I had my tats on and everything. So I was like, okay, that's cool. Even if a few people see it, at least they can know, hey, going and looking one way doesn't stop you from breaking down doors. But yeah, I think it was difficult at first, especially not having strong Swahili, in general, can really hold you back. Especially for me, works as a director, you need to be able to communicate with the people on set.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful as well because I think all those experiences helped me reach where I am now. Hopefully the Christmas run is not the last thing I do.
Hopefully.
And, yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, I hope.
Okay.
Dear directors.
And plus, if you could have gotten it the first time, then there's definitely opportunities out there.
yeah.
Right,
I mean, you
so-
did win Best Actor on our
Yeah, no, I
so
appreciate it.
you have that going.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think the physical presentation, the way you look, so to speak, do you think it's one of the factors that drives this creative bias in Tanzania's?
Like the way I look factors into creative bias in Tanzania,
Yeah.
like how it affects me.
How it affects you, or generally?
Okay. Well, I would say when it's not film stuff,
Yeah.
when I get to just be like, as a photographer, I think it helps. I'm very sure that, you know, it gives people a lot of comfort to know that, oh, okay, you know, this guy looks like he's about it. I don't know. So I think it helps in some instances. I think even in social situations, it's nice because you already look like an artist, and that's important, you know? Not that you have to, but it helps because I can go and talk to somebody and we're already like, oh, okay. And like, I mean, we were talking about tattoos just outside, you know? So we have those small things we can relate on that I think
It's
helps.
less intimidating.
It's
you
less
think?
intimidating, yeah, you know, because I think we see with our eyes, first impressions are everything,
Yeah.
right? Whether you like it or not, you already, as soon as you look at someone, you make assumptions. What are they wearing? What are they doing this? So, yeah, I have no shame with how I look, you know. That's why I wanted to get nose piercings. Kabisa. I remember I got them when I was like 21. I was like, hey, man, I want people to know whether I have my tattoos covered or not, I'm alternative, whatever it is. So, I think it's fine.
Should I go get more piercings?
Yes. Yes.
Let me ask a bit on the family side.
Okay.
Your parents are what was their take on your look, the
I think
locks,
my
the
dad-
piercings, the
The
tattoos?
alternative look,
Because I feel
yeah.
like a lot of our Tanzanian parents are so conservative. Yeah, I got my second piercing and my parents blew a fuse.
What? Oh, man. Oh,
This is why
man.
I'm still on the fence about wanting to get nose piercing. Like I used to have a septum piercing and then an eyebar thingy, but then after I came back home, I was like, then I have to like adjust to other people having to adjust, you know. So I'm just like,
I actually wanted the nose piercing,
Yeah,
and my
I want
mom,
so
in
bad.
her culture and her background, she was pretty cool with it. My dad was not having it. Yeah, so after the reaction that I got with the second earlobe
You were
piercing,
like,
I was
hey,
just
fuck
like,
it.
is it
I'm
worth
not gonna go
it?
through this.
You
So,
gotta normalize disappointing your parents, though.
I mean,
You must.
how
That's how you
can you
gain
be a
freedom.
child and not
Yeah,
disappointed?
I was about,
get
as the
freedom.
oldest child, I'm disappointed, Lucinda. As a fellow firstborn, you must be the breaker of barriers.
I am. Honestly, if you look at my siblings, and I'm always like, you guys are not utilizing me properly. Because if my parents actually knew half the crap that I did,
Yeah,
I'd probably send them to an early grade.
Yeah.
I'll see it.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I know for a fact.
But you have your limits. We won't do the nose piercings, but we'll be out of the gate.
I mean, like with the physical,
It's the
the look and
application.
everything, I'm at an age where I'm just like, I'm okay with, you know, how I am now.
Okay.
But like behavior wise, I mean, I do a lot of adrenaline driven stuff. And every time I travel and I'm bungee jumping somewhere, my dad does not open any of the photos and videos that I send him because it's like, I haven't told him. If you sweat the small things, you're gonna die young. Just don't. So I know for a fact that as a firstborn, I have done my duty.
you did what you had to.
Yeah, I have
You
done it.
represented
I have put them through the works.
I love it. I love it.
So your parents, how did they take you?
Well, okay. I think locks was easy because I think, I had locks as a child when we were in Ethiopia. Of course, Ethiopia has a huge like Rasta culture, so having boys with locks as well is very normal.
Yeah.
I remember, and I'll never forget this conversation, like a week before we were about to fly back to TZ, my dad tells me, he looks me in the eyes and says, son, we're cutting your hair. Because when you go back to TZ and you have long hair, they're going to call you a girl. I'm like, what? This is crazy. And I remember the pain of having my head shaved was awful, you know? So anyway, I remember the first thing I said was when I turn 18, I'm getting my locks back.
getting my hair
Dad, you're
back.
not going to tell me shit. As soon as I went to uni, I didn't ask, okay? And she thinks it's the problem. You mustn't ask. You must
You
just
never
do.
ask.
Yeah, I was like, hey guys, look.
It's better to
I
apologize.
better do it. I was like,
Easier to apologize.
now I was like, hey man, you know, I got my locks, it's done. It was fine. My dad used to love reggae music. My mom already had locks. It was okay. And I remember I wanted locks because I wanted to look like my mom. And my mom is so pretty. So I wanted to, lock in.
Such a mama's boy.
Shout out to moms all over the world.
That's not, my dad though, I think is.
I feel like, sorry, I'm
Yeah,
going
go
to
for it.
have a moment where I'm just, Eric, I need you to crop that part where he said he wanted to look like his mama because his mama is pretty. I need to save that for my son.
Oh.
Because I need him to be able to brag later and be like, my mama is pretty, so I have to look good.
I love it. Oh my gosh. I think my dad's first struggle was me getting ear piercings. I remember we had gone to like South Africa for a holiday in Johannesburg, and I remember walking past the Claire's and they do like piercings like right there. I was like, hey, you know what, Dad? You guys can go ahead. I want to get my ears pierced. I remember the breath leaving his body. Like I saw my mom had to support him. He was like, what? He's like, Joe, you want to get your ears pierced? What are they gonna say? I'm like, hey, Dad, you're gonna look fly. You're gonna look fly, right? You don't worry about that. So I got my pierced, had my little diamonds in. I remember my dad out of the side of me. I mean, I'm taking my selfies. You know what I'm saying? They had to know. You know what I'm saying? My dad decided just like.
Now let me tell you, I'm the biggest hater.
But afterwards, I was surprised. After I did it, he's like, okay, this actually looks pretty nice. Like when I tried different ears, he's like, okay, you look good, man, you look good. These ones, Sasa, I remember he couldn't believe it.
He didn't wrap his head around.
And I remember, I was like, because he took me to Cape Town, to drop me off before I went and started living over there myself. And I saw this guy, he had nose piercings. I was like, Kumba, you can do that. I hadn't gotten to see that growing up. I was like, Kumba, you're allowed. And I said to my dad, listen, man, before you leave, I'm getting both of my nostrils pierced. He couldn't believe it until I went and I did it. And here we are. Yeah,
I mean, it's good that you actually did it in front of him. Yeah, because my dad once saw this girl with like this piercing. And yes, like, she looks like a bull. Yeah. Don't ever do that nonsense. I'm like, a bull? That is mean.
But in the Qaeda, that's what they say.
And the tattoos?
Tattoos, I started off a bit conspicuous. My first tattoo I got on my chest, I was like, you know what? And I was working as a teacher as well. I was like, you know what? I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to influence the kids. We're going to keep all our tattoos covered. I had a plan, and it was just going to be my body. And then I remember one day I was like, oh my gosh, but like this tattoo was my second. I was like, it would be so cool to have like an arm piece. And by the time I got this one, it was too late. I got this one, I got this over here. But my parents, again, I didn't ask me, I just told them. I was like, hey guys, I don't even send them pictures. I just show up, I come back, they're like, Joe, what's this? I'd be like, oh yeah, I got this in India, and we're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better to ask for forgiveness than it is to ask for permission with our African parents. I feel like of my siblings, the only one who's successfully been able to traumatize my parents almost as bad as me would be our third born. Yeah, my dad is very reserved.
Your third one as well?
Yeah, my dad is extremely reserved. So even hair color was just not his thing. And my sister would rock up at home with like blue hair, white hair.
You couldn't believe it, huh?
Stresses the hell out of my dad.
And the thing about parents is like once they see that you've already done it, they'll kind of have a fit about it, but then they'll get used to it.
Because what are you gonna do?
Yeah,
guys,
and then she rocked up. Yeah,
you won't die.
They fix the die, but after the initial panic was gone.
But then it depends on how they panic, because my dad panics on me as the firstborn. So my sister rocked up with a bald head.
It's your problem.
I was already in Tanzania. I kid you not. I was in Tanzania.
Pick up your phone.
My sister was, the rest of them were still out there. And she apparently left the house saying she's going to get her hair done. She comes home, she's tied a wrapper. So we're still thinking, I guess they're still thinking, maybe she's got just a hairstyle or something. Sunday morning, she goes to church. She does this poem at church. And then something about New Me. That was the story I was given. And then after the whole poem, she does the whole dramatic takeoff. And she's like bald-headed. So my parents and everybody is finding out at the same time. And they get home, and after lunch, my dad goes to work. So I'm guessing in the office, he calls me. And I pick up the phone, and this man is livid.
I can imagine.
What is your sister? By the way, my dad likes us to have hair. Okay, so for him, girls without hair is just a big no.
Right.
Yeah, so he blew off on me. And now I didn't know. So I think the more I kept asking him, what are you talking about?
You're pissing him
Who
off.
cut their hair? Like, he's like, don't pretend like you don't know. I'm like, I really have no idea what you're talking about. Like, I need you to slow down. I need you to slow down. So my sister is, ask for forgiveness later.
Yeah,
it's simple. I'm like, he's not blowing up on you. He's blowing up on me.
Lucinda.
I'm the firstbborn.
You must follow your sister's example. The next interview.
No, my point is, she's the only one who's actually made use of me. Of all my siblings.
If you have a
because she knows, she knows, like, she can pull whatever nonsense, unless it directly affects her and my dad. Like, there's some things, obviously, but like, she knows there's a lot of stuff she can pull off, and my dad is probably just gonna come vent on me. And she's like, Pole.
It is what it is.
Because by the time you ask for an apology, they have no other option than to
Yeah, because
take
I
it.
get the earful, I have a headache, and then I call her, I'm like, Happy, what have you done? And she's like, oh, Dad called you. Bruh.
Literally, oh my God.
You know, so the reason I asked about your parents and how
Yeah.
they took your look is I wanted to dive into, you know, your personal presentation, your personal style versus the culture and the cultural expectations that you found when you came to Tanzania. What was that like?
I think, okay, the only times I think where I felt really, really, really like ostracized or left out is maybe like if I have to go to government facilities. That's really tough because, or at least I thought it was gonna be worse. Maybe it used to be worse back in the day. You know, I remember when I had like my earrings, my dad would tell me take them off. You know, if you're gonna go with your arms, then you make sure you wear like long sleeve. You know what I mean? Because we don't want to have problems. With that being said, though, I mean, ever since like the other day I went to court. For context, I'm not in trouble.
About to be like, ooh, what's the tea there?
No. Just like family legal matters.
Okay.
But yeah, so I went, and yeah, literally, I was just like, let's see what happens. Let's see if I'll die.
Yeah,
You know?
because courts are famous for
Yeah.
your
But I
certain
went
presentation.
Short sleeve, I was fine. No one died. They even had someone in front of me with longer locks than me, walking with sweatpants. I said, Kume, a lot of the
My
stuff.
whole life.
My whole life.
But you
I'm
know,
like,
men actually get away with a lot.
but of course, yes.
'Cause
With
we
men,
can't
it's
show
different.
up
Men
looking
is
like
different.
that.
Because I can, as long as I have my long pants, my jeans
Swag.
and shoes, it's okay. You know, they're not gonna come and say, you know, your shirt is too low, something like that. But of course, I've been with my sister,
Yeah.
and I thought my sister was wearing something like dresses below the knees, but because her arms were out, we had to go and buy.
Yeah.
That. So I think, as a man, maybe it hasn't been so bad. I think, especially by the time I reached my final stage where I had my piercings and my nose piercings as well, I think it opened a lot more doors, maybe than it even, you know, held back. Maybe because also me, I was just confident in myself and it didn't let it hold me back. Labda sijaona the places ambayo nilikuwa nazuiliwa, lakini yeah, I think I'm okay. People definitely get shocked 100% of the time. Just to see me like, huh? You know, why? You know, but yeah.
I'm a
that's
little
fine.
on the fence about this because I want to ask, like, what kind of advice would you give to somebody coming back looking like that?
Do it. Do it. I say
I
do it.
did.
Do it.
Like,
You have to
I
do it.
actually had facial piercings for like a huge time of my university years. And honestly, first of all, people need to remember that you forget that you have your piercings, and you know,
Yes.
like you forget that they're
Yes.
there. So like even when someone is looking at you funny, you're just there like,
What's funny?
yeah, you know, until you're like, oh yeah, I have like an eyebrow bar, or like I have a septum, and you're like, oh, yeah, I have those piercings. But most people don't actually come up to you and like confront you
Yeah.
about it. You know, they might give you a funny look, but that's
Kwanzaa, by the way, I think also times are definitely changing. I remember
Yeah.
when I was younger, this kind of thing wouldn't be
Yeah,
normalized.
yeah.
Like in Kokweli these days, I've seen a lot of people just randomly at bars. People have piercings. You know, I can't say I've seen guys with nose piercings. Like earrings are definitely normalized these days. I don't think people get shocked to see a guy, you know, wearing earrings, something like that. But
my dad wears earrings.
there you go. There you go. There you
Okay.
go. That we love to see.
I mean,
That we
okay,
love
I
to see.
can kind of believe that because I've seen your mom, the video.
Yeah. So, and my
Yeah,
dad,
so it
The
kind
pants
of.
is
my
swagged
parents
up.
are really
Yeah,
dripping.
like her mom looks like her big sister.
Okay, we love to see. So I guess tattoos for you were never like a problem.
because my dad also has tattoos. That's the thing. So
You had
it's
the
like,
cheat
and
code.
he works in HR and everything. So that kind of also gives me
Yeah.
like the confidence, because I'm just there like, well, this guy actually works in HR, so he knows like even when you go to job opportunities, they're not looking. Okay, of course, there's some offices that look at your appearance and stuff. It depends on how you present yourself, but most places are looking for your qualities.
I think you hit the nail on the head. It depends how you present yourself.
Yeah.
Because you can have I think the problem is a lot of the older generation associate people with tattoos and piercings and stuff with like laziness, right?
Yeah.
Or not caring about your appearance. And there are those people, but I don't think it's necessarily true that everyone is like that.
Yeah.
I mean, you're working here in Mwananchi,
Yeah.
and you have your tattoos, you
Yeah.
have your earrings over here, you know what I'm saying? Things are slowly, you know, moving forward.
How I
think.
look
You know,
does not
'cause-
determine
yeah,
how I
'cause
do my
I asked that because when I came back, working in media was never in my plans. because I used to hear stories about how you need to look a certain way, you need to have a certain type of hairstyle, you cannot have colored hair.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not big on colored hair. The most I can do is like, yeah, I'm not big on colored hair, but like you're not allowed to have like, you know, the blonde colored hair and stuff like that. So even when I came back, you know, looking for job opportunities in media just wasn't really my thing, because I was like, I don't want to be limited like that. Yeah. And then I came here and people have like crazy blonde hair. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I guess.
Gotcha.
And then I met my boss and he's got tattoos and everything. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Get your work done.
Yeah,
Prove that you're
exactly,
an asset.
exactly.
No one's gonna care, you know. But of course, not everywhere. I'm sure there are a lot of lawyers who tell you not to do that. But I think, it depends. It depends where you're at.
Yeah. So, what about the social aspect of Tanzania? You seem very social, extroverted. Yeah. So I'm hoping for you, your experience would have been a bit different compared to us introverts. How was that reintegration back into the social scene like?
I think the toughest part was if I were to go to like events or spaces where the majority was like Swahili spoken. That was kind of tough when I first came back, because again, like I didn't have the command of Swahili that I do right now. So even I like you're saying, I'm very extroverted. I have no issue talking to people, but I would always have to hold myself back, because what am I gonna say? You know, I'm referencing Modern Family, but there's a scene where Gloria, who's this Spanish-speaking woman, it's her first language, she shouts at her husband for laughing at her for being stupid.
I think of
yeah, she's like, you don't know how smart I am in my language. Yes, you don't know how smart I am in my language, because
it's hard to translate.
Yes. So
my mind,
I would feel really dumbed down at first in Swahili, because I can't translate it. So people would think maybe I don't have anything to say. I'm like, no, you guys don't get it. So I think I found that really tough in the beginning, even trying to get into art spaces, because I wasn't amongst that. But I think over time, getting Swahili made things easier.
Yeah.
But I think also realizing how much English you can get away with as well. It's not like, you know, you'll be 100% stranded, depending on where you go, I think. You know, labda sio career course be like if you're going to these art spaces, you
can get away with it.
You can get
and
away
that's why I always tell people not to underestimate like the locals or whatever, especially if your Swahili isn't that good, because they'll understand what you're trying to get
Actually,
at,
yes,
know?
they really do.
They'll be like, okay, I get what you're
and if you show you make an effort, people are accommodating. You know, TZ, we're not mean like that. I was in France once. Hey, I remember trying to speak English there. No one answered me. They'll look at you, they don't care. You know, at least here, you know, people will try.
I actually want to read a comment from somebody. Our last episode, we talked about language, and what our guest mentioned something. She said that when she came back, things that would be, you know, basic vocabulary to somebody. Charlotte. They're not essentially basic for her. So she gave an example of the word tabasam.
Yes, smile.
Yeah, so she said for the longest time she had no idea what tabasamu meant. Yes. And we got a comment on Instagram, and somebody says that at some point individuals and environments are to blame, okay? But, okay, let me just read her comment and then we'll get to breaking it down. She says, I'm a third, I hope it's a she. It's a female on the profile photo.
We want to know.
It's a female on the profile photo, so yeah. So she says that I'm a third, okay, I need to stop she.
Third time.
This person says, I'm a third cultured kid, but tabasamu would be considered basic vocabulary in Kiswahili. I was laughed at growing up, and at some point had a Swahili teacher tell me I would never pass Kiswahili because she judged my accent. And at the time, English was my dominant thinking language. So of course, a lag would occur sometimes. However, I took ownership, ended up dropping French, and took Kiswahili as a second language and graduated with a B. Engaging with the language via different mediums also helped, you know, blogs, music shows, and so forth. And then she says, generally speaking, as we grow older, we start to make our own choices. I feel like many Tanzanians feel like not knowing how to speak the national language is a flex. As a Tanzanian, you should be able to know basic communication to interact with the community at large. Blaming your upbringing for not knowing how to speak your national language as an adult is not it, no matter how true. Everything I think she said made sense, but this last part for me felt a bit biased, if I should put it that way, because as you say, she gave the example that she was able to drop French and she took Kiswahili. Not everybody gets that opportunity. You gave the example that in as much as your parents would laugh at you for not speaking Kiswahili, what language do they speak at home? Yes. Mind you, you're a kid. Yeah. There's a lot of things that you don't have control over. And it's only when you come back and you realize that there's a lot I should have learned. Yeah. And, you know, you're still in that place where everybody's looking at you like, how can you be Tanzanian? You know, you're showing off, unajishaua, yada, 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 you know, those comments. I'm sure we've all gotten those comments, you know, but I think there's a lot of people who have this perception. They look at people coming back home and they're like, yeah, but now you should learn. But they forget that for me to learn a language, I need you to engage with me without judging me, without making me feel out of place. Now, there was somebody I think who once said, you guys, watoto wa Kishua, you always hang out in Masaki. And I remember asking this person, have you ever stopped for a moment and asked yourself, why am I going to Masaki? Because when I come hang out with you in Sinza, in Tabata, yes, we're vibing, we're drinking, we're doing all of that, but I can't keep up in conversation with you.
Right, you're left out.
I'm left out. So I have a moment where, because I don't really know where this conversation is at, I just find myself on my phone and entertaining myself. And this is something that a lot of people don't take into consideration when they say, you're back in Tanzania, jifunze Kiswahili. How? You know, so you spoke about that, and I thought of this person because I was like, it's understandable where you're coming from, but you had the option.
Yes.
A lot of us did not have the option to drop any of these other languages because, you know, Kiswahili was not there. Yes. In South Africa, I think they recently introduced Kiswahili once. They now teach. Kiswahili has gone international. You should.
It is the most popular language in Africa.
Yeah, so there are universities that are actually teaching Kiswahili. I think South Africa introduced it into their curriculum. I think Namibia is also doing the same.
Oh, wow.
So like if you actually have the opportunity to learn, why not go for it? Yeah. But not everybody gets that opportunity. Yeah.
And some get it a bit later in life.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Because with Charlotte, she didn't actually grow up in
Tanzania
until
when she came back.
She became an adult, you know, which is a bit harder.
So I think the thing that I observe, like a lot, yes, exactly. Yeah. A lot of times is there's a need for grace when people are relearning these languages. Because even I could understand very well. Yeah. But the responding was really difficult. So.
And I think also there's something to be said in that people see speaking English as an advantage. And that can be pressed upon you as a child, you know. Focus on your English, make sure your English is top. I can't recall my parents ever telling me, you know, you need to learn Swahili so you can get a job. Yeah. You know, but the English is like, we need to make sure. And, you know, Kwanzaa, you know, at least maybe, obviously it's biased because the schooling systems we go to are different. But I remember having English, you know, as your strong suit was such a boon. You focus on it, I guess.
It was a flex, yes.
And also,
for lack of a better word,
it was a flex. But also the media we're consuming in our different, you know, social classes or whatever. It's also very different. It's harder for me. I remember in the last episode, someone mentioned like passive thinking. You know, I for example, I like to watch like a lot of anime. Right? That's usually in Japanese that I watch it in, right? So cool. Thank you. But you know, when I'm watching, you know, I don't mind watching it in Japanese because I'm going to learn the English subtitles and I'm going to do it. But I could never passively do it. I think and I'm never going to learn Japanese. I think it's hard for someone to take that step to say, hey, you know what, I actually want to try to do this Swahili because it's true that in life you have people that get away with just English kabisa. Yeah. Yeah, you know, it's like okay to not come in with your Swahili. You know, unajulikana zaidi na Kiingereza.
I think you've made a really good point about the media that we're consuming as well. The media that our kids are consuming. It's like, you know, Peppa Pig. How many American kids have started talking in a British accent?
Exactly.
Yes.
So like
that's actually
the cartoons that you like. I would ask these same parents or people. Ask these people if their parents were buying them Kanumba CDs, or if you know what I'm. Because
please,
you
cassettes,
need that.
not CDs.
Cassettes, even exactly. But without that, where are you getting this from? Sabu, you know, kids.
Barbie films. Yes. Like, it really
me, my favorite superhero growing up is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Sijai kusikia Spider-Man. Nakuja, no na Green Goblins. It's not a thing. So I think by the time you're like 12, 13, they call it the plasticity of your brain, and your brain has already become hard.
Yeah.
So it can be really hard to get out of it.
Yeah.
I'm glad she was, or they rather, were able to get out of it. But like you're saying,
Well,
I think,
she was still, she had the opportunity.
Even like now, the media we're consuming, like, do you go on Netflix and say, which Swahili
Movie am I
has
going to
come out
watch?
today?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, nah, even right
and
now.
it goes even deeper. Media
Yeah.
is such a controlling force in our lives.
is very-
Because right now, for example, I associate Netflix and my English shows with higher quality. Individuals are not going to seek out the Swahili stuff because I'm already associating this Tanzanian Swahili made
Choice, for
contact.
example.
It's not what I want to watch.
Yeah.
You know, and these things, I mean, oh my gosh, I used to teach English, so for me, I find this very interesting. But yeah, you have a lot of nuances when it comes to language and how it's treated. That it can't be something in one common. It's very layered. It comes to parents, kids, environments the parents are putting their kids in.
The schools,
Yeah, it's
people you're
it's tough.
interacting with,
Yeah.
things
It's
you're
tough.
watching.
I think even Instagram these days, that
Social
translate
media.
feature on social media, just yeah, you see a post in Kiswahili and you're
Yeah,
like, too long,
translate.
translate.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
it's layers to it. It's layers to it.
All right, you
Layers
used to
to
teach
this.
English.
Yeah, I used to be an English teacher.
What grade?
I taught year 9 until year 13.
Interesting. Interesting. All right, so let's get into acting, into entertainment. You gave us a bit of a highlight of how you got the role in the Christmas run. Take us through that actually, because that was just with us. Yeah, take our audience through it. How did you get-
I think acting in TZ, we're not very audition based. We're very much, if you're known, you get called in, and then maybe if we're gonna do auditions, it's for the other roles. You know, we're a very star based industry. I think maybe because acting itself has not become so widespread. But for the Christmas run, I was lucky that they were holding auditions. We were invited to record like tapes, monologues. So I recorded a monologue, I sent it in, and then you do the long wait. So you 2 months, 3 months.
Mike?
Oh, so sorry. You do the long wait, so you 2-3 months. But yeah, I ended up getting a call back. I auditioned for the role because they said they were looking for someone. I remember they said they're looking for someone tall with a deep voice. I said, hey man, if it's not gonna be this, what am I gonna get? So I shot my shot, I got in. I remember we did the table reads. It was really exciting. I think, I mean, of course, the internet will correct us if we're wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Christmas one is the first Christmas themed movie we had from TZ.
Yeah.
You know, where that's like the central
That actually
presence.
did well.
Yeah, that actually did well. So the audition process was really fun. And I think I would encourage a lot of aspiring actors in TZ to also make the effort to look out for these audition roles. I think, because I've also worked as a director here. So I also know that auditioning isn't known because I like to host auditions. And people don't know how to audition a lot. I would say people need to make the effort to understand what you need to do to, learn your monologues, learn your range, because not everybody's every kind of actor, you know. Not everyone can do drama, not everyone can do like comedy, so you have to take time to practice. I think people see Enikuyiza as an easy job.
Yeah.
Like I want to do that, like I'm just gonna pull up, But it's not,
easy.
it's not gonna get you far if that's your attitude. You have to practice, you have to work.
Yeah.
But I also appreciate that TZ hasn't set up the structures for someone to easily understand how to get there. Of course, University of Dar es Salaam, we have a performing arts course, but even people I know that have prepared that, you come to the set and you don't know what's going on. So I think education is really important, but in the meantime, when we're not having those support systems, people have to also yongeza kidogo to go and look at that stuff.
Seeing what you've seen in the acting scene, don't you think there's an opportunity to have like coaching classes that don't take advantage of people? I mean, that's shortchanging yourself, that kind of thinking. I'm sorry, it is.
Okay.
You are shortchanging yourself because you haven't tried it.
Okay.
Do you know of people who've actually tried to do that?
Yes.
I mean, don't count the universities and don't count. We're talking professional coaching, because it's the same thing with modeling. Okay,
yes, that's true.
I modeled so many places, and when I came to Tanzania, the modeling industry was very different. The taking advantage of all of that. But then I actually went to a modeling academy. Yeah, they took us through a proper course. You do the work, you do the final presentation on stage. They put you through it. Then you actually get your certificate. Then you start booking gigs. So I feel like we've shortchanged ourselves so much with the mentality that, as you say, people won't pay, people take advantage of each other. But this is an opportunity that I feel, if properly structured, could really benefit. Because if you look now, like our entertainment industry, especially in the movie scene, it's growing. You have the Angela Ruhindas now writing for movies on Netflix.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, this is a level that requires a certain level of professionalism, and it requires certain training. So, as a director, as an actor, you've seen how difficult it is to break in. I feel like this could present an opportunity for you and like-minded individuals to actually do something about that.
Okay.
Never underestimate what people are ready to pay for.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
People
right.
would pay. Like if you
They have
prove
the
your
money to
value,
spend,
people
they
will
will.
actually
I'm
pay.
taking these ideas. I'm gonna lock them in. It's good.
People
it's good.
will actually pay. You know,
Yeah.
rather than waiting for the next gig, you spend your time actually perfecting your skill. So even when you hold auditions, people know what to bring to the table.
Actually, maybe that would be a good course. I would love to teach people to know like how to prepare for like an audition. I think that's something.
And you can, nowadays the world and technology is making things so much easier for us. You can even hold online classes and be like, you have platforms like
You have
that.
platforms like Nelipe. They offer classes. You know, you record a season of your classes or a module or something, and people buy that on Nelipe. And you know, you can have your little niche of targeted audience. Yeah.
No, consider me sold. Cut this out of the video so no one takes the idea. But very done. Yes.
We're gonna have to copyright this.
But okay, no, I think it's a good point you're making. I think we're moving there. The Tanzanian film scene has changed a lot.
It's really changing. It's really growing. And if we really want to have a good shot, like cement our presence on Netflix, we have Showmax now with DSTV. If we really want to cement our craft there, we need to train people. Yeah. So, okay.
All right.
Okay, so I think that's said about the creative industry. We've given you a lot to think about.
Too much even.
Yeah,
Okay,
I hope
for
by
the
end of the year.
I can join a class for sure.
Yeah, I hope by end of the
Hey,
year.
don't
You'll
say,
see me
I'm
on
calling you
Netflix.
first. I'm calling you first.
You need to say that face in the audience so they can hold you accountable.
If you see me on the big screen soon, don't be surprised. Making connections.
Yeah. All right. So I guess we all start small, right? Yeah. So this could be a good place to start small. Another place that we started small was our award show. I know. We favored ourselves, guys. We have to talk about this. So you were voted Best Actor by our loyal, faithful, loving audience.
Yes, I was. Thank you, guys.
We appreciate that. On the Citizen Fan Choice Awards in December. First of all, did you even expect that?
Yo, listen,
How did
guys.
you get to hear about that?
First of all, I remember being sure that I was nominated. I remember literally it was my mom. My mom is like, call me. She called Ngome. Ngome, come. Hey, what is this? And I'm seeing for the first time nominated for this. I was like, what? But I remember I felt really blessed. That's my first film. You know, I've acted before, but never in a movie. That was my first time. So I'm humbled, man. I remember I won't name, actually all of the actors actually there, were very, very capable actors. But I remember there was one in particular I was surprised I beat that. I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe I can try and do this. I can keep trying to work. And
Oh, what a confidence.
Nice.
huge confidence boost. My mom was happier than me. I remember everybody had to know after I got because it was on New Year's, right?
Yeah, we
January
announced
1st.
we announced the winners on the 1st.
My phone. I'm getting called by aunties I haven't seen for years. Hey, Ngome. So thank you guys. It was really exciting. I think going forward is gonna be really cool because I think it also keeps us citizens
Engaged.
enjoying. Keep it engaged. So
Yeah.
it's really nice.
So this was the brainchild of our entertainment editor. So hopefully you can actually thank her. I'm
What's
sure
her name?
her name is Beatrice. She
Shout
would
out
love
Beatrice.
to.
You're amazing.
Yeah, she would love to get this feedback. Yeah, so this was her brainchild, and we are happy that it got the recognition it got. So we will be doing the second Citizen Fan Choice Awards this year.
Let me act real quick. I'll get it.
Yeah, we need you to act in something. Get on it real fast, You only have 1 month to convince the audience in December that, guys, vote for me again.
Wow.
So you said you got calls, you were not aware, and how did that feel?
It felt amazing, man. It was so fulfilling. I mean, for context, by the way, when I got the role, my father had since passed away. I think 2 months after I got selected for the role. Oh. So obviously, never actually got to watch the film.
Yeah.
But no, I remember. When we won, I was thanking him because when he started the voting, I was like, "Ish, if you can do anything up there, pull the strings to get these votes," and I did. So yeah, it was a real full circle moment, So I was really happy.
And a really amazing way to start the new year.
It was. Yeah. So it was amazing. It was amazing.
The year winner.
I mean, it did come from the people, so there is that.
It did.
Because it's one thing if we are the ones who's selecting people, but the fact that the audience saw your work, they loved your work, they thought you were worth that nomination. We really appreciate that.
And that was really good. Yeah. It was really, really good. So thank you.
All right.
I feel like one of those proud aunties.
I know. Yeah. And that was our creative designer on the whole campaign. We kept sending him back and forth, get the name right.
I appreciate it. My name was spelled perfect.
Yeah. All right. So before we close, I want to know, what advice would you have for, people coming back home and trying to break into the creative industry space?
Wow. I think first and foremost, no one is going to chase you. If you really want to get into these fields, you must put yourself on the ground. I think that's maybe a difference. Like living in SA, I remember I used to do modeling as well. And it was much easier there because systems are set up where you can email from the comfort of your place and get a call back. Here, serious understanding, to be honest. You're not, you better be able to go.
That's to put yourself out there.
You have to put yourself out there. And that's why I'm telling people, if you find an audition is there, even if you think, oh, this is a small film, so get in, figure out who's who. Because this is a space, whether it's acting, directing, being a photographer, being a model, connections are what's going to get you where you need to go. Staying at home is not going to get you anywhere. So I think, put yourself out there, whether you don't have Swahili or not. You'll be surprised, even if you come there without your Swahili, that can be the thing you're known by. Somebody say, it's Joanna, we need someone like that. We need this role, So put yourself out there. Don't stay at home. Don't be so much more afraid of the outside than you have to because it's much worse in your head than it is.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, the outside is scary as hell. So.
Unemployment is scary again.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so I have a little quick fire round game for you.
Oh, it's the words.
Yeah. Abroad versus Bongo. No, we're not doing words today. That was for Charlotte. That was for Charlotte. Everyone has their own. Yeah. Okay. So we're trying to take your take of Tanzania. Yeah. We don't let you practice this. You can't practice this. So abroad versus Bongo. Okay. So whatever I call out, you gotta compare the two. Which one is easier? Which one is better? And why? But you get 30 seconds for this comparison.
Okay. So I'm locked in. I'm ready.
Actually, I should put a timer on this because I talk a lot.
Ooh, this is getting worse. Let me see. For confidence.
All right. So where's my timer? 30 seconds. All right. So as I said, okay. This is 30 minutes. What?
Yo, would have been confused.
All right. So as I said, abroad versus Bongo. Okay. Which one wins? You can explain, but 30 seconds. Okay. Street style, go.
Street style in terms of dressing?
Which one wins, abroad, Bongo?
Yo, you're gonna get me cancelled.
30 seconds, okay, 25, 24.
I think when I was growing up, I probably would have been like, oh yeah, people dress so nice abroad, and abroad is way tight. But I think having come back to TZ and also seeing and being able to acknowledge people in their essence, we'll be dressing down in TZ too as well. Because I think when you're abroad, people really try to stick to outfits and fashion brands that people here mix and match. So I'll give it to Bongo.
Okay, Bongo wins.
Yes.
All right. Next one. Acting gigs. Go.
Hi, abroad.
You don't need 30 seconds.
I'll say abroad. I think, and just to explain, maybe I'm biased. Actually, of course I'm biased because I'm me. I don't know about everybody else. But for me, I think being unique looking can be more of an advantage abroad because there's a wider range of casting that we're trying to do. But for a Tanzanian series or something, we have a very localized look that we're trying to do. I don't think we're there yet, so I'll give it to abroad.
All right. Nightlife.
Yeah, man. I think partying in TZ, yeah.
By the beach.
Yeah. We don't appreciate that, eh? You're here by the beach, life is nice, life is affordable. a night of drinking in Cape Town, not the same as a night of drinking in Dar es Salaam, guys.
True.
I think here, we're doing what we need to do. I think we need better variety of music, though. I'm tired of hearing about piano every day.
Depends on where you're going, though.
It's everywhere, like I'm a piano.
But you have to remember that Tanzania also has a little foot in its
True.
Omapiano.
Right,
Like,
that
have
is
the vibe.
Okay.
But I do agree Bongo wins because, man,
I only just
we
out of
really know
context,
how to party.
When I was in SA, the piano was nice because it was new. Here, by the time it was in TZ, it's already the popular. It's like
I have to give it up to Uganda.
Uganda. They be
Man,
partying
that's
there?
fucking party.
Hey, Uganda,
Yeah?
Life in Uganda.
Let me
lit.
tell you,
Okay,
Uganda
those
know how to
folks
get
can
down.
party.
okay, I'm pulling up.
Like,
I'm really cool.
I used to hear about Ugandan parties and the nightlife and everything, and I was like, I'm yet to go to a place that beats TZ.
But you found it.
Then I went to Uganda. We went out the first night, the second night, the third night. I was like, guys.
And the music is actually pretty
And we
lit,
have to be like at the
They have
conference
good
at
work.
8 in the morning. No, we had a party bus.
Yo.
I kid you not, complete with a bar and a DJ and a pole.
Yo. So Lucinda, you were?
Let's not put images into people's heads. But yeah, that's an experience. Uganda nightlife. Uganda, you're welcome. This is me promoting you
Special
guys.
shout out.
But nightlife in Bongo is definitely
Yeah.
one of a kind. All right, next one, Uber. Ride hailing.
It has to be abroad, man. Because, okay, these days at least, I've since moving back, I drive myself now. But I'll never forget having to explain where I'm going to someone who's accepted my ride. Unaenda wapi? Uko wapi? Ramani iko sahihi. I'm like, oh, guy.
He had Itoshi, like,
Yeah, I told you, we need to. I'm like, guy. Oh, no, abroad.
Yeah.
Abroad.
Okay, Uber and Bolt, y'all need to up your game. Y'all need to up your game.
That's the worst part. Like when they see the money on the that you're supposed to pay, they're like, no.
Oh, they cancel.
No. Yeah.
I feel like
They picked up your thing and they're like, you're too far.
I think
Yeah.
that's Bolt. Uber doesn't really show, and this is why I like Uber. Uber don't really show their drivers the final destination and the price, especially if a client has a discount. And I love Uber because Uber always gives me the craziest discounts.
Yeah.
And I remember this one time I left the office and I was going home, and by Uber, like on a good day, I'd pay like 13 to 15,000. And I paid 5,000 in a car.
You must have been pissed.
He was pissed.
Ah!
He was royally pissed.
No,
He
it's
was
tough.
not amused. He's like, Dada, kwa safari yote ile tumekaa, we sat in the traffic, sijui ni nini. I'm like,
TF10.
that is between you and Uber.
Yeah. But respectfully, though, I've heard from these drivers that Uber are not paying out their people, man. That's the problem.
Uber
because-
does pay their people. What I observe
Yeah.
with drivers, I'm sorry guys, but this is what I observed with the drivers. People like to have cash on hand.
Right.
They like the quick win. So you find somebody has a lot of credit na nini kwenye accounts zake. So Uber will give you that discount. But we'll still make sure that
They get
kama
paid.
wanakukata sijui, is it 25% or something, whatever discount that they cut, you still get your cut. But unaipata via your card or whatever account that you register. So they don't usually want that. So their argument is like, sasa mimi sijaweka mafuta. I'm like, but that's a you problem. How do you get on the road and not have fuel, knowing you're going to do business? So I take advantage of that. When I get an offer from Uber, I'm like, oh, I am totally using all these 10 rides.
Hey, enjoy.
Actually, that's another thing that I've noticed, like, because you have the option of putting your credit card to like on your Uber,
Yeah. And they don't like that.
Really,
They don't like that. They really don't want that because they want you to give them cash. They want cash. Or they'll tell you that this is my first ride. See, I don't have money. Why are you making your problems mine?
Yeah, weird.
Yeah, so the argument that they don't pay personally,
It doesn't hold.
it does not hold water because I think many just want that cash on hand. And then there's that thing where, for example, you would enter Mlimani City. Many customers don't know that, but when you request, the price that you get when you request inside the mall, it does include the parking fee. And people don't often know that. Listen, I use ride-hailing apps so much, so like I stay on top of everything. Because I go everywhere with either Bolt or Uber or Little Ride. At the office, we use Little Ride a lot. So I know with Little Ride, it will give you the code. So you get the starting code, you get the parking code, and then you get the ending code.
Right.
So if you enter in a place where they have to pay for parking, you give him the parking code, so he gets his 1,000. With
cool.
Uber and Bolt, the moment you enter, it clicks. So instead of if your ride was 5,000, it will come 6,000. So I learned that the hard way because I got 6,000. I got an extra 1,000, and I complained. I complain a lot. I give feedback.
Give feedback.
I give feedback. I'm a good customer. So I gave feedback, and then one of the customer care agents actually called me, and they're like, "No, it initially say that you're dropping at the bus stop, but it looks like you entered inside and dropped by KFC." I'm like, "Oh," so they explained that we have to pay the driver the 1,000, but because I didn't know, the driver made me pay the 1,000.
Oh man.
So these days, like when I call and I'm inside the mall and they're like, "Dada utanlipia," I'm like, cancel.
Oh, I cancel.
Yeah, I cancel. I'm like, I will explain to you. There are those who know.
I see.
Yeah, there are those who know. There are those who know, but then there are those who would want to, hustle you. There was a time I called just a few days ago, and the driver was inside the mall. And he's like, "Sister Dada, inabidi unipe 1,000 so that I get out of the mall." I'm like, "Am I the one who entered you in the mall?" Also, you got paid by the client,
right?
That you dropped.
You just have to swallow the.
Sometimes you really just have to be like.
So with the Uber, I honestly feel like they take advantage because people don't really know. Because even with like Bolt has the start codes, very like I still get Bolt rides and people be like, Bolt these days has start rides. I'm like,
it's been there.
It's been there since last year. Yeah, so there's that. Okay, the last one.
Right.
The last one, 30 seconds. Broad versus Bongo. Okay? The friendliness of strangers.
Oh, Bongo, man. Bongo. I mean, you can't compare, especially like people are angry outside when it's cold. Here where we have nice food, you have good food. People are friendly, man. People are at peace. I've seen a lot of rudeness abroad. I remember being shocked. Here in TZ, I could just tell anybody, "Hey, VP Harry, Nini, we can talk abroad. How are you doing?" Someone just keep walking like, people got too much going on, man.
Yeah.
I think here we're at peace. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's true. That's true. Somebody would look at you like, do we know each other just
like,
because you said hi? Like, I'm just being nice.
Right?
Yeah.
Fucking hair if you don't say.
That for me was a culture shock. That for me was a culture shock because I'm very introverted. I keep to myself a lot. So I'm the kind to just walk by people. Okay. I'd have my pods on and I'm just minding my business and they're like, you can't just go past people and not say habari aleo. Like it's taken a lot for me to actually learn how to do that.
Are you finding it easier now? Like
no.
It's just something you remind yourself that you have.
Yeah, like, with my neighbors, if I see people, I have to be like, when I see, like, I'd leave my house and then there's somebody sitting out there, I'm like, I have to say hello, I have to say hello, I have to, like, I play it in my head. So even if I'm listening to music, I have to pause my music and be like, habari aleo. And then sometimes I'm like, my voice is not out loud enough. So, there are those people who would look at you and be like, acknowledge that they've heard you. But then there are those people who want you to like stop and I'm like, I'm not going to do that. The best I can do is mambo. And then I'm just going to disappear, Yeah, so, Tanzania does take the trophy on being friendly. At times over-friendly.
Yeah, there's that part.
Over-friendly. So for someone like me, I'm like, what do you want?
Yeah. It's a balance.
When someone comes, like, for example, I had this situation happen to me yesterday. Someone clearly saw me sitting by myself on my restaurant. And then they came, and I had my AirPods on. When I'm outside, my AirPods are always on. Even when I'm not listening to anything, they're just on. And they came and purposely, there was other tables that were open.
What if this is the start of something beautiful?
I'm sitting alone for a purpose, like a reason. My AirPods are in for a reason. Why are you wanting to, and this is a total stranger coming to say, there's a difference between saying, hey, and hey.
And then getting comfortable.
Yeah, it's like, goodness gracious. Like, I'm alone for a reason.
I've actually stopped going out because of that, because I've had some serious culture shocks that we
must be especially bad as women.
It's really bad. It's really bad. I think the worst was I went to a place and I'm alone. I was waiting for somebody to finish an event, so I go pick them up. So I'm like, I'm just going to stop by here, grab a cocktail, and then when you're done, let me know.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. the drama.
And you were
Sorry,
just wanting
I'm
a
over
cocktail.
dramatizing this whole thing. I'm over dramatizing this whole thing. But I'm sitting there, and this dude comes up to me and like grabs me by my waist.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty
So
bad.
I'm instantly like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know, leave me alone. And this dude, he's high, yeah,
Right.
but I'm expecting some kind of help even from like the bartenders there and all of that.
But it's
And
normalized.
yeah, so apparently there are places that if you go as a woman and you're just there by yourself, forgive us netizens for outing each other's secrets, but if you go
Out there.
if you go to these places as a woman alone,
They think you're a
you're
prostitute.
hunting.
Ah.
Yeah. So I didn't know that. That was a serious culture shock for me.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at this place. This is an international restaurant.
Yeah.
What? So
This must be
I'm
Oyster Bay.
I'm trying to remove this dude off of me. He keeps pestering me. And so I'm looking at the bartender. I'm like, help,
Like, the
help. And the
stuff.
dude is like, dada, kama hufanyi biashara. Sisi hatutaki fujo.
Wait,
what does that mean?
Yeah.
No, I mean, okay.
That's like-
The reason I asked at first, I thought maybe these guys are thinking that you're prostitute because I know that's a. It's a.
So that was the
that's
first time I
crazy.
heard that.
That's crazy.
So I just paid my bill
Yeah.
and I left.
Yeah.
I'm in the car. I call this person and I'm venting. I'm furious. I'm like, you just find me at the lobby. I had to go to the hotel where he was. I'm like, you just find me at the lobby. I'm just coming straight to where you are. And so he comes and I'm explaining the whole situation to him. He's like, no, Pole, welcome to Tanzania. So
That's
biashara.
so horrible.
It's weird though. That's
Biashara, I
normalized.
learned also last year. We were doing a certain event and I went to this place and when I explained to the manager the kind of event we're trying to host and he goes like, unajua, I can't let you do it here because wafanya biashara ni wengi. Me in my pure blonde self, I'm like,
Like business.
this is a place that usually does a lot of pop-up shops and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that wouldn't be a problem. So I think after a while, he realized that I have no idea what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So he explained it to me explicitly. I was like, oh, no, we don't want
It's not
that.
the kind of biashara we're talking about.
We do not want that, you know.
Damn.
So that on the social scene was a major culture shock.
Yeah,
So
flirting,
I
yes.
know it's very risky for a woman to go out and
By
just
yourself.
hang out
I
by
wonder
yourself.
who hurt Tanzanian men for them to group all women into like this weird, over sexualized.
It's not
weird
just African men. I mean, Tanzanian men, it's Africa
African men in
in
general.
general because a lot of us
Sad.
grew up in that culture where sex is such a taboo,
Yeah.
especially for
But-
women. That's a whole other conversation. And then men are encouraged to express themselves. And
Is
you
this
know,
not a universal thing? Kwasabu, where are you going where you're saying men
Actually,
are
yes.
well mannered? It's not an
a
African
universal-
problem.
Yeah,
I think the
it's
thing is, men are growing up, so you're told if you want to get a
you have
woman,
to
you must be
assert
aggressive.
yourself. Yeah.
Get in there.
Yeah.
You know, whatever. And I think that, again, the problem is, for every Lucinda that feels uncomfortable, there'll be someone else who's like, actually,
I'm into it. Yeah.
Okay, you are definitely
Then
coming back
there's-
on that conversation that we need to
Yeah.
have. All right, Joe. I think I'm good on my end. Joanne, you'll be
too.
closing for us today.
Yes.
But thank you for coming.
thank you for having me.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for staying tuned. As always, like, share, and subscribe, and watch more and more every single time we post on The Citizen. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.